welcome to part 2. In this short video I'm just going to show you some other things that I tend to always use in Cubase which you might find useful. The first thing I'm going to do is divide the tracks by clicking that, and then that means I can throw anything up there, or I can add things that I use, which I find really useful. It just again tidies up the window. So the first thing I'm going to do is I want to click and I want to record a click. If we have a little look at the tempo, so I've set it to say 96, and rather than have to keep clicking the C or clicking this to enable it, I so much prefer having an audio file. Just a quick thing, I will do a video on certain things I've found out with the Big 6 that don't seem to work or have problems in Cubase, or whether it's just my system or my computer. But one of them is the metronome. Every time I try and use it, it doesn't work. I can't hear it, and the reason being is the outputs have changed. So this has already been set, but you want to watch what output your click goes to and what user interface you're using. You'll have to make sure that you double check. If you can't hear it, it's because it's not worked. So you just push that and push OK, and that means that the click will come out of that interface. So it's coming out of 15 and 16. It might be an issue if you've gone tracks 1 and 2 and changed it to 15 and 16. Cubase might, or whatever DAW you use, might not have sussed that. So remember, you click the E and then you choose the driver or where it's going out of. So the first thing you do is you check your locators, make sure that you've got plenty of room. So that will be fine. You can check how long it is, because this, I don't know what this is called, but that is telling me that it is 10 minutes 25 seconds, I believe. So that's plenty long enough. So you go to project, you go down to signature track, and then you want to render audio. Make sure it's audio between locators, and then what it will give you is this audio click track. And again, as I say, to throw it up into this section, and if we expand this, you can see there's your click. And that, again, you can mute it, you can cut it, you can do so much more with it, and also you can EQ it if it's annoying you. You can change the tone. I know you can also in here, you can change the click sounds, but they're all a bit naff if you ask me. So let's just double check the clicks okay. Now again, you still got to check what's happening. We don't need a bus, and we're going to go out of 15 and 16. That's absolutely fine. Let's also add a marker track, and this is what I've always tried to do now, is add markers, because it really helps speed things up. It prompts you for the name, so I'm going to put marker track, and then only need one. Add the track, and there's your markers. And to get the first marker, all I'm going to do is click bar 5, because I generally come in on bar 5, leave these 4 spare, because you don't want to come bang straight in on 1. So if I do 5, then I know I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 bars, and that helps me work out where I am. So I just add a marker, and it will go to this. Make sure your snap is on as well. And then what you can do, I find it quicker to just copy. And so, for example, if I need one in bar 17, I'll just paste it in there, and then say like another 8 bars, it could be bar 25, paste it in there, and then you can see I've got 3 markers. And then you just click this E button here. So I just go to description. So number 1 I'm going to say is intro, tab if you like, or just click in. And then next one we could say it's the verse 1. Next one we'll just say chorus. Fine, and you can see it's labeled up there nicely. So I really try and always use marker tracks, and when you click up here, it just goes to wherever you want, and it's just, rather than the end and the beginning of the track, it'll go to your markers, which is really useful. Okay, so the other thing you might need is an audio track. Stereo going out of 15 and 16. We'll click OK, and that could be, let's bring it down, that could be your ref track, so your reference track. And again, just watch where it's going. You don't need a bus because you're not recording anything, and it's going out 15 and 16. So it could be that you might have a track that you want your track to sound like, or in the same genre, or it could be a backing track, or whatever it is. It can be placed here. And again, if you click into this section here where the cursor is, you can paste up and down, and then you can click in here and do the same here. So it's just a really useful tool. I really like it. And I always use a bit of a split here. I always use an actual click, because also when you export a track, you've got the click with it. So it might be that someone else is working, you can export an individual click track. Because obviously that's the only way you can do it, as far as I know, is just to make a physical track or MIDI track and then export that. But really useful. Markers are a bit of a no-brainer. They just speed up the thing. And it helps you plan your track as well, which is good. Reference track, always good to mix into a track. And don't forget, with the reference track, you might want to turn it down as low as 10 or 12 dB, because don't forget that commercial track would have been mastered and limited and pushed up to commercial sort of volume, where your track isn't going to be that. So make sure you turn it down and get it the same level as your one. Don't try and get as close to that as you can. Only do that when you get into mastering. I think that's about it. That's basically how my projects start, and then I'll obviously add anything I need down here, more effects, more reverbs, more whatever. Obviously these can be expanded. So if you want to see how I did all this section here, it's in part 1. Don't forget to subscribe if you can. Click the bell icon, and I'll keep doing the videos. And let me know any comments or anything, or any other things that you might use where I would find it useful. I'm no expert, but this is kind of where I'm at. Thanks again for watching. See you next time.